gonna love this.
I want to hear it. I'm objective. You're critical.
Anico at the disco.
He's positive. Join the Mixtape 615.
Today, tomorrow, yesterday,
It is the dopest supporter group in all of Nashville.
forever. All right, testing. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. It's the Mixtape 615 podcast, and this is the place to be if you are a Nashville Soccer Club fan, or you're just trying to see what's going on with them boys in gold. And I invite you to lock in with us real quick. Yo, check it out. It's your boy, Tunji, with the raspy voice today from yelling, not at the home game in the past weekend, but at the screen. We'll get into it, man. And I'm also known as the Young Turtle, the Soccer Face, SF Doom, the Big Kahuna, munching on a little tune sandwich, the DR Kid, affectionately known as Steam Poppy. Yama por favor. Yo, I was at Southside last night, and I was getting a little bit too lit off the half off whiskeys because Nashville was losing, and that's just not. It's a dangerous combination for me. All right, I'm just saying. AKA Mississippi, my ties on this beach in Belize, feeling cool like a summer breeze. The dude walking down Broadway with the Kingsbury Jordan ones that you ever did see. The Golden Boy with the golden voice, and Chicago Mike, baby, the Glizzy Gladiator. Let's get it, Austin. Tell them who you are.
Yeah. All right, what's up, guys? My name is Austin, aka Wildman, aka Ginger Snap, aka hey, the Fumbling Dublin, because we getting close to St. Patrick's Day. All right. AKA Chicky Parm, AKA Redbeard. All right, Logan, tell me who you are.
All right, guys. It's your boy Logan, a.k.a. Beer Main, a.k.a. Mr. Carson, Mr. Roboto, Coach Carson, Mr. C. You know, It is the FX Doom.
Get out of here. Copyright infringement.
And, of course, allegedly, if you know, you know. This is the Mixtape 615 podcast, brought to you by the Mixtape 615 supporter group, the dopest supporter group in all of Nashville, in all of sports, in all of soccer, in all the world. We love it, and we want you in the mix. If you have not joined in, definitely jump into mixtape615.com. Get yourself signed up so that you can run this pitch, because we do have our scarves available. If you're watching this on YouTube, you clearly can see it. We run
they're nice
pitch.
They look
and
good.
It is awesome. We're excited about it. We are very much ready to go. And if you are watching on YouTube, you can also see I'm rocking that Memphis 901 FC. We were talking about our Open Cup. So you know I got to rock it. And of course I'm rocking my Gibson's Donuts hat, because if you're from Memphis, or if you want to go to Memphis, it is the place to hit up. Absolutely. So we love it.
That free sponsorship right there.
Hey, it's what it is, man. I'm telling you, it's the best donut spot out there.
I hope they're giving you some free donuts, brother, man.
They did actually this weekend. That was great. We are excited to get into this, talking about all the soccer, from our boy up in Montreal scoring his first ever MLS goal, and then getting a jersey from Luis Suarez, his idol, all the way to Nick Saban talking about how college sports have changed. There's a lot of stuff going on in the sports world, and we want to talk about all of it. However, we don't have time. We got to bring it all the way back into Nashville. Well, partially in Nashville, partially in Miami, because we do need to talk about our CONCACAF Champions Cup run.
Yep. Well, I mean, what else is there to say other than we're out? It's done. It's over. The dream has been deferred. The dream has been deferred, man.
I'm done.
Yeah. I mean, look, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. This one hurts, man. It's gonna stay with me for a while. I really, really wanted us to like make a strong run in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, but it's a tough tournament, man. My problem is that I feel like we went out in like an ugly fashion. You know, we lost. Nashville lost 5-3 on aggregate to Inter Messi and company. I feel like we saw questionable calls. That's kind of stopped Nashville SC from scoring at least 2 more goals.
Also gave Miami a goal.
We're good at that this year. We're giving away goals this year.
Oh no, just the refs calls may have given them a goal.
No, I'm just saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like there was some questionable stuff. Like, Shaq Moore getting his goal called back, which I still believe is wrong, and then Hani getting his goal. Like this offside rule is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on in that VAR room, but they need to fix that, especially when it comes to my team. Lucas McDonald became public enemy number 1 after being mauled by Messi, not the other way around.
Oh yeah,
Messi came after Lucas. All right.
ESPN FC even said that Lucas McNaughton tackled Messi, and I'm like, that was quite literally the opposite.
They called it multiple times a tackle.
Well, I think that's the craziest thing about that
cleared the ball
about this round is that, I mean, we literally made global news because Messi ran into Lucas McNaughton's foot after he was clearing a ball. And all of a sudden, it's Lucas McNaughton. It just kind of goes to show you that there is some real Messi bias going on. I mean, if ESPN is calling it a tackle on Messi, it's not. To me, it's weird to see that and look at it with your eyes, with my own eyes, and come to the conclusion that Messi ran into this man, and then to see a whole contingent of the Twitterverse, of the world even, saying the exact opposite. Like, I don't know how that happens, but it literally, I felt like I was in Bizarro world, man.
It was insane, man. And the refs made a lot of questionable calls in general. The refs missed quite a few calls. We saw Schaffelberg getting attacked at least twice, and only one foul call given. Not even a card, even though it should have been. He got hit in the face. On the second time around, you saw him literally get shoved to the floor,
elbowed to the ground.
I'm talking about shoved straight to the ground and right in front of the ref, and the ref didn't even say anything.
Well, I mean, look, this is, man. It's awful. Like, we can complain about how rough Miami played all day, but like, we've got to admit that all in all, our defense isn't where it needs to be. The decision in this last match, the decision to play Lovitz out of position, to me it was mind-boggling. I was like, well, what? I think whatever Gary was trying to do, and he even said it after the match that he doesn't like what's going on that back line, and that's straight from Gary's mouth. So we do know that, like, hey, there is some actual issues with our defense right now that need to be fixed. But I think the switches that Gary made yesterday, it hurt more than it helped. I don't know. I mean, like, Austin, I mean, I want to know this from you, man. I said early on, before the season even started, that we could beat Miami. Apparently, I've been proven wrong. Do you think, Austin, that getting past Miami this year with the situation that the lineup that we brought in, yes, all the injuries, given everything that went down, do you think that getting past Miami was a real possibility for us, or was that just a pipe dream of mine?
A fully healthy Nashville team, I think it is a possibility with how much we frustrate that team. Our back line at full strength can measure up against most MLS teams. Miami is one of those. They're kind of built to beat everyone. It's what they've done. They've paid for the team to go out and win cups. It is what it is. Love it, hate it.
Them and Apple and MLS paid for that team.
It is what it is.
And Adidas, Adidas paid for that. Yeah.
I think a lot of us are frustrated fans of other teams, but ultimately you play who you play. And I think that Nashville, this is the first time that this Miami team, the Messi-led Miami team, has beaten us in regulation. If you consider the 11-round PKs beating us, then yes, they beat us one other time. When it got all the way down to goalies who never shoot the ball. So if you consider that a win, then yes, it was a win. But, this is the first time that a Messi team has beaten us. And it was when we didn't play two center backs. We really only played one center back, and then Dan Lovitz, who I can't blame him. I think that's a coaching decision. I think that Washington deserves a start right now over Lovitz. I think that he's looked better at the beginning of the season than Lovitz. But honestly, this game, it's not on Lovitz. He was put in a bad position. Yeah. But the decision that when we did put in another center back was Josh Bauer. That confused me. Why not with Jack Mayer on the bench? Why were we not putting in the milkman? I know that Walker Zimmerman being out hurt us. But ultimately, I thought that we measured up well. As soon as that second half started, when we made a couple of those changes, it was shot after shot after shot. Now, we weren't burying the ones that we needed to bury. You know, if we put some of those balls on net, like right off the bat, you had Sam Surge getting a header that looked like maybe he was trying to pass instead of shoot. You know, if he shoots that, Tyler Boyd, if he puts that ball on net from that cross, we're tied at that point, right? I mean, like right off the bat, we're tied with them, and that completely changes the game. But we didn't capitalize on some decisions. So to answer your question, I know that's kind of a roundabout way to do it. Yes, I think that we can compete with them, but ultimately we've got to get better at finishing.
Well, I mean, I was really disappointed in Schaffelberg's performance, mainly
especially
because
after the first leg.
After the first leg, yeah, the first leg was great, and then he does this thing where he yo-yos between being this really dangerous, like very competent, and like can pick out whoever's in the box, like, you know, and just put a dime on them. And then he yo-yos back to being this guy who's just streaking up the field and crossing it without looking. He did that multiple times
down
last night,
easily, trying to draw fouls rather than just playing strong and running.
It's games like this and situations like this in the Champions Cup that really makes me question like Nashville and the organization as a whole and the strategy and what do they want? You know, like I know what I as a fan want, but I sometimes really don't know what they want. They tell me things and then they do the opposite that it takes to make those things, you know, such as become a team that wins a championship, that gets some silverware. I mean, I just don't know. Logan, what do you take away from us falling out of the Champions Cup and in the fashion that we did?
I mean, the fashion that we did, it just shows you the lack of depth when it comes to injury in some way, shape, or forms. I know Austin mentioned that we only had one center back in, in the second half. We really didn't have a center back in the beginning. I mean, we had Lucas back there, and that was pretty much it. I even I know we all love Dad, love Brent Coleman. He saw my Instagram story that I said, you know, I don't like the way that this has happened, and I think Gary's got to go. He saw it, and I messaged him immediately. I was like, hey, I know you just saw that. Don't take it as a personal attack towards y'all, but like, dude, I honestly thought you would have been a great option to put in, just the way that you commanded on Sunday against the Galaxy. And he goes, honestly, I would have loved to have gone in, but you know, that was a lot of work that I put in. I know I'm probably going to get the nod this Saturday, so we rested me as much as we could. And I was like, all right, let's look forward. Yeah, I
still am not sold on Brent Coleman, man. I'm not sure if he can line up and stop because even like if he can stop Messi and Suarez. Because here's the thing, man, Messi picked out Suarez within 8 minutes of the
I know,
ball being kicked, and that was off of Lucas McNaughton getting turned.
Correct.
Getting turned and lost that, man. You can't let
less experienced center back. Absolutely. Getting turned around against two of the greatest players of all time. Look, absolutely. I can understand that.
I understand. Look, I'm not upset that we lost to an 8-time Ballon d'Or. I'm killing that. Golden Ball winner.
Ballon d'Or.
and his Ballon d'Or and his goons. I'm just mad that I felt like when it really mattered, we didn't actually show up. Like we didn't compete. I'm mad that we lost to Miami, bro.
Yeah, like it felt like we gave up. And as soon as they hit their first goal, it's almost like you saw a wash over their faces where they're now.
Oh, did you see that? You see that the camera? Like this is what made me lose faith in Gary.
Gary sitting down.
When they scored and it panned to Gary and he had this look on his face like he was like, oh man. Like it was like I don't know how to describe that look, but it was like one of just like a man who was out of his depth.
The absolute praise that he gave in the interview for Miami, and I understand. Yes,
that's fine. I get it where he's coming from.
Great. They really are.
It doesn't inspire the confidence.
The problem I have is he's sitting here hyping up Miami the whole time, saying no, they're amazing, they're this, that, and the other.
No, he was hyping up Messi. He was hyping up Messi.
I know, and he's like, we didn't, we just weren't prepared, and I'm like, that's on you, coach. Like it's 100% there. Like with our such a giant shift happened between the Mocha games where we had our 7-0 aggregate. I mean, amazing. And we looked like we wanted to attack the entire time. Even the game here in Nashville against Miami, the game against Miami in Nashville, we attacked first and we attacked strong. The problem arose that after they got their first goal in aggregates here, you saw fear rush over, and almost like that PTSD rush over Nashville from the Leagues Cup final.
I don't know if that was after the first goal, because then we marched down and Shaq Moore scored. It was just
no, that's not the case.
It
was Schaffelberg twice, and that was it.
No, but I'm saying Shaq Moore went down and scored, and then it got called back, and that's where I saw the shift, was when that goal got called back and Nashville didn't have that 2-goal cushion again. Then I felt like it shifted and Miami got that boost of confidence. Had that goal stood and they didn't call that offside, then I think the whole series, if you want to call a 2-game, first and second leg, if you want to call that a series, I think that shifts it. If Shaq Moore's goal stands.
You're saying Shaq Moore doesn't get the offside call and we go up 3-1, right? That's where it was, right?
I don't
think you're saying you don't think that Suarez Suarez puts another one in the back of the net in extra time. Yep. And then we go to Miami
into Miami up 3-1.
Up 3-1. And let's say they score then. Let's say they score all, let's just keep the score. So then it's four.
So if we keep the score the way it is,
then it goes into extra time. I don't know if it's extra time or if it goes straight to PKs. I can't remember.
It doesn't go to PKs. It goes to fair play. So then it looks at who's got more cards. And honestly, at that point, it would have gone to Miami having more cards, which means Nashville would have moved on.
Well, man, that's a whole bunch of shoulda, coulda, woulda.
That's what I'm saying. I think that, exactly.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, man.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. The fact of the matter is, we're out of Open Cup. We're out of. Look at me. We're out of Champions Cup. We have MLS play. The MLS Cup. We have Leagues Cup, and that's it. That's our chances for hardware this year, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, with that being said, I mean, I don't know what it's going to take for Gary, the gaffer, to get us there, but we're going to talk about that next.
Hey, Mixtape 615, are you ready for the 2024 season? We want you to join us. Join our supporters group. It is the dopest supporters group in all of Nashville. So sign up right now at mixtape615.com and rock your 2024 membership scarf so you can show off and say, we run this pitch. Imagine standing on the field, feeling the energy of the game close up, all of the energy of the stadium. That's a reality for our members. You can get on-field opportunities, plus get access to our tailgates where you'll bond with fellow fans over great food, soccer passion, and don't miss out on our epic away game watch parties. So sign up now, mixtape615.com, and join for the 2024 season.
Welcome back, everybody, and we definitely want to talk about the current hottest artist, if you will, in all of Nashville because of how much he loves to draw. He's known as Nashville's very own Picasso. It is Gary Smith. This man has drawn.
He loves to draw. He loves to draw.
In case that wasn't clear.
In fact, in the since Leagues Cup last year against MLS opponents, he has drawn 9 times.
9 times.
I'm talking about since Leagues Cup?
Since Leagues Cup last year.
It's Leagues Cup last
MLS opponents. He has drawn 9 times, has 2 wins, and has 6 losses. This man has not
since
put
last year's League
together.
Cup.
This man has not put together a rhythm. And I understand we've had some struggles when it comes to depth last year. Some struggles when it came to youth last year, some struggles when it came to the attacking front last year. But guess what? We addressed those in the offseason. I feel like we addressed those very well in the offseason. And then we go into league play this year and have three draws back to back to back. It's with the giving up in CONCACAF and in league play, the giving up a 2-0 lead back to back against two different opponents, it's just not acceptable. I don't think any of us can really say that that's an acceptable thing to have in a coach who has addressed these attacking issues that we had. And I understand there's injuries left and right. We all understand that, but we have some solid players there. So Tunji, like, let's put you in Gary's shoes. Why would you give up the attack after 2 goals against the LA Galaxy?
I mean, again, it goes back to what we were talking about last segment. I really thought that we were putting all of our eggs into we're going far as we can in CONCACAF Champions Cup. So, trying to get guys some rest. I get that the subs that he made were not optimal, but he's trying to work with a roster which is better. This roster is a little bit better than last year. Actually, say a lot better than last year.
Agreed.
I think that yes, like we can be upset that Nashville is giving up leads and drawing as they tend to do. But here's what I'm just gonna say it, like, because of the way that Champions Cup ended and the way the season has started and gone, I'm taking into account the injuries. I think overall, I'm very prepared for Nashville to let Gary walk at the end of the season, man. I'm very prepared to start.
He just extended his contract.
I'm very prepared to start looking in a new direction, man. Like
they got all that gam. Can you buy out a manager's contract with it?
We'll see. We'll see what we can. They won't. I don't think Nashville's gonna I know a lot of people are saying Gary out right now. I don't think that's going to happen. But here's one bright side to what I have seen thus far. Yes, we're drawing a lot. We haven't lost, right? Here's the even better side of it. We scored 13 goals in all competitions since this season started.
How many have we scored in league play?
Quite a few, actually. Quite a few.
How many have we given up in league play?
How many goals have we given up in league play?
I mean, hey, if we can look at, a silver lining, the first match ended a 0-0 draw, and then the next match ended 1-1 draw, then the next match ended 2-2 draw, right? We're getting better.
By the end of it, we'll be at 34 goals and 34 against. We just keep this up, we'll be a 3-3 draw this weekend against Charlotte. Who knows?
I don't think that we're going to continue drawing. I think that right now, because of all of the changes that we've made on the offensive end, like Nashville's made, and Gary has made a lot of changes to the play style. Trying to make changes to the play style, but a lot of changes to personnel that we're putting out there, and so in the likes of Tyler Boyd, Mackenzie Gaines, like that is why we're seeing them score more. Now, the question is, why are we scoring more and defending less? And I've been screaming about this since for a while now, for about a couple months now, that like, hey, if we're going to be more of an attacking team, let's just remember that we have to balance it out. We have to. I don't know if that's what's happening right now, but I think that I truly think that with the injuries, with the new personnel, everyone's trying to find their way. The signs are, well, we can score goals now, which we weren't doing last year. Our biggest complaint last year is that we couldn't score goals and our midfield was awful. This year, our midfield still hasn't proven to be great, but we're scoring goals. That's a step in the right direction. I don't know if we have that killer instinct under the Gary regime right now. To get to the finals of anything.
Yeah, well, that brings up the next question. I mean, Austin, when it comes to our mindset, our players they don't have that winning, that drive, that attacking mentality. Is Gary the guy to give us that? I mean, he hasn't won silverware in 14 years. Like, what is it that we are seeing in this man that keeps our players going?
We're seeing what Gary Smith has always done. You look at his total record as a manager. What would y'all consider? I'll ask you this. What would y'all consider a good win percentage for a manager, knowing that draws are a thing in soccer, what would you consider, Tunji, a good win percentage?
I mean, with goals, with ties as a thing. I mean, if you're winning about, let's say 40% of your games,
Okay,
maybe tying another like 30.
I think it needs to be a 46% win rate with a 32% draw rate.
Very specific.
Okay, so Gary Smith is total is at 37 win percentage. 37 point something, but 37 win percentage his entire managerial career. Now Nashville, he's doing better. He's at 38.
Oh, 1 point.
Can we really call that better? 1%.
1% better. Nice.
But this is what Gary Smith has always done. He has won cup, and if you go back and you look at that year with Colorado, it wasn't a great year. They made the playoffs and then had a good playoff run. You know, it's like
I feel like that's scary though. Like, is that not kind of who he
do with Nashville? That's what he wants to do with Nashville. If you look at Leagues Cup, we made a great run, but how many of those were settled in extra time or PKs? You know, like that's kind of what we do.
This is what I've noticed though, is that we put ourselves, like his whole strategy, and I've heard him say this, is like, hey man, it's a numbers game. We got to get the ties will help us get into the playoffs and yada yada. So I always hear him talking about, you know, trying to defend why he gets so many ties, because and saying like, oh, you get the point, you know. But I never hear him talk about the strategy for these tournaments, the strategy for Leagues Cup, the strategy for Champions Cup, the strategy for MLS Cup. I feel like what I've seen from Nashville, maybe I shouldn't put it all on Gary, but what I've seen from this team is we're gonna, keep being ourselves, which is like heavy defense and punish the opponent when they make mistakes. But then when we get into the tournaments, we just kind of like, well, just throw our hands up. It's like, well, we'll see what happens. So I'm like, good teams don't do that. Philadelphia expects to go all the way through.
Yeah. So if you look at what Gary did, because, you know, a lot of people who are trying to defend Gary are trying to say like, well, it's basically since we started the season, it's been 2 games a week. And yes, we had some injuries. Yes. However, you know, league play is what, once a week? Correct. Normal league play is once a week. And so he had 10 different starters in the LA game, including our goalkeeper. And then we go to Miami and he puts out that lineup. Like, it confused me. I didn't I'll give it this. I didn't dislike the lineup. My only question mark was why we were playing Washington and Lovitz at the same time. We played Lovitz out of position, and we look what happened because they attacked the middle of our defense in the first leg. And then we go to this, and they do the exact same thing and attack the middle of our defense, and they start scoring goals like crazy. Suarez, with that first one, he made a good run.
That's what he was trying to address.
Do what Messi does.
He thought that was going to work.
I feel like,
wrong. Hey, don't switch it up like that in an elimination match. I respect taking risks. I respect taking risks, but I've never seen that work for Dan Lovitz. So like.
So we keep talking strategy, we keep talking lineups, and all of it is coaching decisions, right? So do we feel that Gary is the coach to bring us, with his decision making, with his style of play that he talks about? Is he the man to take us to the next level? I know we asked that question last year.
No, and I will tell you why. No, and I will tell you why. If you look at some of the most successful coaches in the world, if you look at Premier League, you know, you look at Jurgen Klopp, you look at Pep, you look at, you know, some of these guys. Yes, he's been at some of the greatest clubs in Europe, you know, but his win percentage as a manager is like 70%. Yep, win percentage.
Yeah.
You look at Jurgen Klopp is like 60 something percent.
Yep.
You know, some of these now, granted, we're talking about some of the best coaches to ever coach, you know, some of the best managers to ever manage the game. But take it back to MLS. You look at some of these coaches who have been around for a little while, and their win percentages are way better. They're not playing for the tie.
Cherundolo comes to mind.
You know, yeah.
Klopp needs a job next year.
Even Bruce Arenas, you know, his win percentage was actually pretty decent up until recently. And so you look at that, and they're playing for a win. Like you said, Tunji, Philly is expecting to win and make these runs every year. LAFC is expecting to win and make these runs every year. And Gary's like, no, we're going to play for a tie and then hope for the best in the playoff. Like what, that sounds like it's the strategy.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
And I've like not been a Gary hater. But at this point, like, we've got to see a change. If he doesn't change anything this season, then he's got to go.
This is where I'm at, man. I just need to get this off my chest real quick, man. But I've said it officially on X, on Twitter. I'm Gary out. My status right now is Gary out right now. And let me explain myself a little further. I don't need us to get rid of him right now. I just believe that until he shows me something, I feel like I have enough data points to look at what we have in our head coach, what we have currently as our strategy and as our team, and say he's not the guy that's going to take this team to the next level unless he shows me something different between now and the end of this playing year. I'm officially Gary out. Like, meaning, hey, at this point, I know what to expect. There's no more surprises for me with this team and with Gary. I think that personally, I'm just like, dude, like, once if you can mess around and make another amazing Leagues Cup run, cool. If you can mess around and maybe even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, you know what I mean? Then I will change my mind. But as of right now, Gary out, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to a lot of us. I've said it with the way that we've got 2 wins in league play or against league opponents, since September of last year. It needs to be a big change, and let's hope that it's actually a big change this weekend, because I know that our players are frustrated and we're the frustrated, but more than anything, this is belt time. And that means a lot to Nashville. That means a lot to Charlotte. It means a lot to Atlanta and DC. And we are going to have a little bit of a match preview for the belt talk, the first game of the season. And we are back-to-back champions, so we want to hold on to it. And we're going to talk about that next.
You guys know I'll be too lit on Wednesdays at Southside Kitchen Pub, but it does not have to be a Wednesday for you to get too lit with me at any of our away watch parties. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Mixtape615 for all watch party information so you can get in the mix with us, me, Logan, and Ginger Snap. Let's go.
We are back, Mixtape 615.
Oh.
We are ready to talk about a match preview. And just like Tunji is so beautifully decorated right now with the Southern Championship belt, this will be the first matchup of the year battling for that belt that Nashville has now won 2 years in a row. So
the only thing they've won, baby. Only thing they've won.
Right there. The fact that we get to hold the only silverware that Nashville has won tells you everything that we need to know that we talked about in that last segment about Gary. But we're excited. We're getting back into league play. Yeah, we wanted to make a stronger run in Champions Cup. We got some of that off of our chest in the first segment. But hey, back to league play, back to focusing on one game a week, not having to, double dip for a lot of our players. Back to one game a week, and hopefully we get some of our players healthy. We can make these runs. We can get that chemistry. We're not having to focus on 2 different competitions. So we're gonna make this push, right? Come on, we're hopeful. We're excited. Gary, please do something different and give us something to cheer about. Logan, we got this match preview with Charlotte. This match coming up on Saturday, and they've won, drawn, and lost in their first 3 matches. They're not doing the double dipping like we are, so they're coming in a little bit healthier, a little bit more rested than we are, and I don't know, maybe less defeated than we are with that loss in Miami. What do you expect to see? Who do you expect to shine for Nashville coming into this game?
Well, I know who I hope to shine for Nashville coming into this game. I really hope that we have an amazing showing from a one Mackenzie Gaines. I want him to come out swinging in this game. I really do. I think he'd be a solid setup as our midfield winger coming in on the other side of Schaffelberg. I think that this would be a fun time to put him and Schaffelberg in, or him and Boyd in on either side of
moving Boyd to that left side.
On either side of Mukhtar and Surridge. I think it'd be awesome to see those four at the front to attack. So that's really who I'm hoping to see pull out just something big this weekend. We've seen his attacking prowess. We've seen his eye for the goal, but we haven't seen him put it in the back of the net yet. And I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. I think that it's exciting always to see a player go back and challenge their old club. It's always fun to see what that brings out of them, because some players really just rise to that occasion. We got to see Drew Yearwood kind of try his battle against his old club in the opening match in Geodis this year. That was his old club as well, but not as fresh as Drew Yearwood. But it's always fun to see this. Tunji, is there anybody on Charlotte that you're really worried about? I feel like that the year that they had last year, it's less to worry about than in the prior season. But tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong. No, you're wrong, bro. It's not a player. I mean, they really do have some weapons on their end, but I'm more focused on their new coach, Dean Smith. I mean, this guy helped Aston Villa promote to the Premier League, and then helped them stay in the Premier League. They didn't get relegated when they did get into the Premier League. That's a big deal. This guy knows how to scrap, bro. The last 2 times we played Charlotte, we got bailed out by just weird calls and PKs that maybe we didn't deserve. You know what I mean?
The last one that was in Charlotte last year when we lost 4-1.
No. We didn't get bailed out, and that we got
2 years ago.
Bombed. And that was I was there.
I can remember.
I was there. One of the worst vacations I ever took. Sorry. I think so like I said, man, with this new coach, like, this guy is a proven vet. I mean, he's coming with some real Premier League experience, he's always been someone that you go to him if you want to win and if you want to make some stuff happen. So Charlotte's pulled out all the breaks this year, I think, and I'm curious to see how this new coach is going to match up against us, what he's going to do. But that's who I'm more worried about. What I do know that we have to do, we got to choke the middle. Charlotte, what I've seen so far, I mean, they had a rough time up in Canada against who they played, Vancouver and Toronto. They had a rough time up there, but it just kind of showed that they can't build attacks like we were having troubles with last year. I think they have improved, but we don't need a tie right now. We definitely don't need a loss. We need a statement win. That's the only thing that's going to get me back on defending Gary again. I no more defense for this guy, bro.
Need a win.
Need a win. That's all I can say. We need a win.
Something to get our hopes back up. It's something to get us excited again, something to get us cheering, something to get the castle rocking. We need to see goals, which luckily we've actually seen some goals this year. But we need a win. We need a win. In that Mocha match when we scored 4 goals. I know, Logan, you were there. Tunji, were you there at that game?
No, it was midweek. It was a freezing cold game.
Yeah, it was freezing. There was like nobody
phenomenal.
There, and it was like 4 goals. You got 4 goals for less than half the stadium filled. I want to see a full stadium with 4 goals. I want to see them get us rocking. Something to look out for. I don't know if it'll actually happen. But Leal, I think is how you say his name. Leal Abada for Beta from the Celtic, who actually just finished up his transfer coming into Charlotte. It's something to watch out for. He might be ready for this match day. He might not be. Kind of like Sam Surridge. It took him a couple matches to get in the actual lineup. So we'll see if that actually happens. But he's a pretty feisty winger coming over, playing in a comparable league. I think that the Scottish Premier League is a little bit better league than the MLS right now. The Celtic is a good team. They play
Celtics
you see them Celtics. You see them play in the Champions League a lot. You know, they're making, not sure how far runs they're actually making, but you see him making it to Champions League often, and so it's exciting to see. We'll see if he actually plays. You know, we've got a tailgate coming up. Logan, tell us about that tailgate we've got.
I mean, the tailgate for it is going to be amazing. I'm excited because Charlotte always travels well, right? I mean, let's be real. Charlotte travels really well, and especially to Nashville because it's a lot of fun between us. It is a belt time, man, and it's a belt game, and a belt game means their fans show up. So with that, our fans are showing up too. We have a little Tennessee dry rub, Memphis dry rub, Memphis style dry rub against Carolina vinegar or sweet mustard gold. We're basically going to show them how real barbecue is made. And me and Austin are going to take our time with a 24-hour smoke pork butt to do some barbecue sliders. I'm really excited about that. So we can really show them what good barbecue looks like. Man, it's going to be a blast. We've got some awesome beer from our beer sponsor, East Nash Beer Works. We're pumped to have those guys in. We're pumped to see a lot of those guys show up for the game. I mean, I can't say it enough, man. It's going to be a blast. And let's be real. The belt's going to get handed off to some players this weekend. And all of those players are going to be holding that belt because they've just won and they got the result.
All right. So Tunji, any match predictions, score predictions?
Real quick before that, I just saw that Leo Abada, his visa isn't sorted yet, but they're saying it should be sorted by March 30th. So that's one less thing we have to worry about.
Won't be worried. Okay.
That's
good.
one less thing we have to worry about. Match predictions. I don't love doing match predictions because I always end up looking like a fool. But you know what? Let's do it. 3-0 Nashville. 3-0.
There we go.
3-0.
4-0 Nashville. Let's give them a taste of what they gave us when I was in Charlotte 2 years ago. I still got a bad taste in the mouth. I don't love going to what is they called, Mint City. I don't care about anything. They're talking about Fort the Crown, all that stuff, man. This is the castle, bro. We got to show y'all the best time you ever had, and y'all gonna walk out of there with 4 goals on your head and not scoring a single one on us. Yep. That's my prediction. 4-0.
Shoot, I'm with you on that. Honestly, I'm not gonna give them 4-0 because I think they can at least score 1. I'm gonna say a 4-1, but Hani gets a brace.
Ooh, a honey brace, you say?
I'd like to see that. He got one in Mocha. Like to see him get one in leagues play now that he's kind of getting back to season form, season shape. He's getting back. I am kind of enjoying the Sam Hani connection. It feels like they've got some better chemistry. You saw him come out swinging in the second half against Miami. Didn't go our way, but we'll see how it goes today in our own house and if they can make that connection and that chemistry happen. But hey, let's go ahead and wrap another episode of Mixtape 615. So thank you guys for listening. We are 21 episodes
Take some shots for your boys.
21 episodes in, according to the internet, because you can't put anything on there that's not true. We are in the 1%. Of all podcasts
Stop.
in the world.
Hey, it's
on the internet. It's on the internet, Tunji.
Hey, the fact that
you guys for listening.
That's awesome.
Yes. Thank you, Doug Branson. This guy, he is producing, and he's had to do a little bit extra work. We're forcing him to do more editing for us this podcast. So give him a shout out in the comments. He's the real MVP, guys. Catch us on all of our socials at Mixtape 615 on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can find us on YouTube for all of our video content. Tunji's been posting some fun shorts. We're seeing some fun video content with all of our, Logan's wearing his Memphis swag. Tunji's got the belt. You don't want to miss all this. You want to see all this. So hit us up on YouTube at Mixtape 615 Pod. But guys, for another episode of Mixtape 615, we are signing off.
Let's go.